spirits in here like to talk to us? Are there any spirits in here? How many spirits are present?
Hi, welcome back to my show. And this is Mario with Parasite Tech Paranormal, where we talk about those things that lurk in the dark that we cannot see with our naked eyes. Unless you have equipment and you're lucky enough to spot something. So this is our podcast. Thank you for joining.
So, thank you guys so much for coming back, and I'm really sorry that I know it's been a while, and my podcasts have been very spaced out, very very spaced out. I do have a lot of good material that I can go over. I'm getting everything together for you guys. As of today, I'm just here basically with my daughter, just messing around a little bit and just recording a few things. And she actually had a couple questions for me about, about things I did back in the field. Wow, did I just burp?
I think it caught that.
Oh, so I'm just going over some stuff, and she's gonna sit here and she's gonna ask me a couple questions about things that I did. I spent a few years. I went to a lot of historical places, abandoned schools, abandoned hospitals, abandoned prisons. Mostly they were all historical locations I went to. But anyways, if you guys already listened to my podcast, you already know all that about me. It's been a little while since I've gone investigating. I really would like to. I've got all my equipment just sitting there collecting dust. I just need to try to start a group. Hopefully, in the near future, I'll have a little group, and maybe we can start going out to some of these locations. There's a lot of hot locations that I've been dying to go to. But anyways, I got my daughter here, my little munchkin.
Hi.
And she was asking me a very interesting question earlier before my show, which was, what was it again?
Have you ever gotten scratched during ghost hunting?
I have never gotten scratched. I would say about 3.5, 4 years where I actively went to a lot of locations. Never gotten scratched. Never gotten scratched. Just bug bites, maybe. Flea bites. Maybe scratch myself on something. But that's pretty much the extent of that. Only thing that I've ever experienced really is just getting a little nauseous in certain locations of the building. Like for example, when I went to Waverly Hills, when I went into the surgery room or the operating room, it was a small group of us doing an overnight stay, and we were standing around the table, and I did start getting a very nauseous, kind of a little bit of a vertigo mixed with nauseousness type feeling in that area. And the creepy thing is, as soon as I left that area, I felt like normal again. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Just kind of a weird feeling you get when you go into these places, like somebody's watching you. But then again, it could be paranoia too, or it could just be that your senses are heightened because you know you're in a haunted location. but I can't ever say I've ever gotten scratched. And if I did, I didn't feel it. But that's pretty much it. So I was supposed to be reviewing with you guys things I've seen on Ghost Adventures and some of these ghost shows out there. My favorite, my pick, my number one will always be. Well, actually, I've got a couple of ghost shows that I really like a lot, but my favorite one is Ghost Adventures. I think they've pretty much held their own and very credible, and the evidence they come up with, the evidence that they find, the way they collect their evidence, all the equipment they use, they're very very knowledgeable, and at the same time I love the way that they explain to their audience what each piece of equipment does. So I really, I really dig it. I know a lot of people nowadays in the paranormal field, you have kind of a split crowd. Some people aren't into all the fancy electronics, and some people are. But the GAC crew is really using a lot of stuff now. I see them using a lot of this new tri-field meter, which they just keep modifying it. Every couple of shows, I see that they kind of they get some of the equipment they've already had and they kind of modify it and add to it. I think that's awesome. I think that's kind of what I like to do. If I have a piece of equipment and I can mod it or add something to it in a way that'll help me capture evidence, I think that's awesome. I think that's great. But the only piece of equipment that I'm still kind of sketchy on, I would definitely have to say the what's that thing called that connects to the Xbox? I'll have to maybe I'll use my good old friend Google. But I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. It's the holy moly. It's the
HDMI cable.
what? HDMI cable?
Yeah.
No. Maybe it has something to do with that, but the HDMI cable might have a relationship with that equipment. Let's see, ghost equipment. I know exactly what it is. Right, the Connect. So it basically, they have this piece of equipment that's it's like the Connect sensor. They use that connected to it looks like a tablet. I don't know if it's an iPad. I think most of the time what they use is Apple stuff. So I think they got it connected to an iPad and some with an application, some third-party application connected to it. But the Connect sensor, I think, in my opinion, it's cool. The SLS camera. There you go. It's called the SLS camera. But I think it's pretty neat. It's basically like a Connect sensor camera, and it picks up the movement, and it picks up like the skeletal shape, I guess you can say, of the spirit. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. It just doesn't really catch my attention that much. I mean, you see little skeletal figures, moving around. I think I've only seen maybe one or two episodes where I can actually say, "Whoa, that's pretty cool." Where it'll do something on command. They'll tell it to lift up its hand or lift up its leg on command, and it does it. That's pretty neat when you could get something to do something on command. I think that's pretty legit. That's pretty cool. Personally, I think my most favorite piece of equipment in the field is and I think I've said this before, is a digital recorder. I've got a really good digital recorder, super good one. It's highly sensitive. And on that recorder, I've caught numerous voices. Nothing like being able to hear the voice of an entity. I mean, that to me is probably the most valid way to get evidence. But I'm not knocking the equipment they use. I mean, it's their inventions, and I give them a lot of credit. I think it's pretty cool. Who's the what's the name of that guy that helps him? Oh yes, Bill Chappell. How about that? Didn't even have to look it up. It just popped right into my head. No Google involved in that. Maybe. Yeah, but Bill Chappell is amazing. Actually, I know exactly who he is. I just can't think of the name right away. Um, I'll tell you, these Christmas vacations they do bog your brain a little bit. But yeah, but Bill Chappell has invented a lot of cool stuff. I've seen a lot of cool inventions. I'm trying to actually look to see if I find a list of things that Bill Chappell has actually came up with. Let me see if I can find a list of different things that Bill Chappell has invented. I know he's invented a lot of the cool things that the GAT crew uses in the field. Um, Looks like he invented the paranormal puck 2 and the paranormal puck 1. I'm assuming. Um, Says here Bill Chappell has updated the original paranormal puck as used on Ghost Adventures. And new for 2017, it's a paranormal puck 2. Um, Basically, it's from what I remember, it's just basically it's an EMF detector, a highly sensitive EMF detector. I think it detects. Let me see what it says here. Like the original Paranormal Puck, the Paranormal Puck 2 is designed to connect to a control device. In the Paranormal Puck 2, there are 6 additional standalone options. The standalone options enable the device to be used with a controlling application, software, or autonomous, autonomously. Can you say that word, honey? Autonomously? Autonomously? Oh well.
I cannot.
Autonomously. It says here the Rev B of the Paranormal Puck 2 provides a more compact, simplified design with increased airflow to the sensors. The Paranormal Puck 2 is a leap forward monitoring EMF temperature. Oh, monitoring EMF, temperature, humidity, light levels, barometric pressure, movement, ionization, static levels, and produce the legendary ITC sessions the original Paranormal Puck was known for. That is awesome. That's pretty cool. How about that, Lena?
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. It looks like a hockey puck. I guess that's why it gets the name Paranormal Puck. It looks like a hockey puck. Here, I'll put it up here so my daughter can see it. See how cool that is?
Oh yeah, that's cool.
See, it's got sensors. It's got all these cool little sensors. And what those sensors do, they basically pick up EMF, which stands for electromagnetic. Well, I know what EMF is. Electromagnetic force. Basically, it's static energy. So it picks up EMF, temperature, humidity, light levels, barometric pressure, etc., and movement. That's pretty cool. I didn't know it did all that stuff. I just learned that today with you guys. Um, but very interesting. That's something I might end up getting soon. I didn't know the paranormal puck did all that. That's pretty cool. So you use that when you go ghost hunting. You put it like in the middle of the hallway, on the stairs, and it measures all those.
Oh yeah, I've seen one of those before.
Yeah, yeah. In the ghost shows, mainly Ghost Adventures, you'll see these. So it uses to measure all those. It measures all those different. So it basically measures all those different factors that we went over. But that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool tool. Let's see what else Bill Chappell is responsible for. Some of the other inventions that he's came out with. See, this is cool stuff. This is ITC is one of the main things I started talking about on my podcast. I basically grew up loving computers. Actually, I am a computer engineer. I've been a computer technician for a little over 20 years. So, started watching the ghost shows, and every time I see these gadgets that they have, it's always spiked my interest. Let me see what else he's got here. Digital dowsing, paranormal investigation equipment. Um, I mean, they got all kinds of stuff. I'm looking at different websites, trying to see mainly just stuff that Bill Chappell has came up with. Let me see. Let's go ahead and try to do a search for Bill Chappell. And of course, the Ovulus is one of those things that I forgot about, and it's the Ovulus is pretty neat. I think it's been around from what I remember, maybe about 10 years now, or maybe even a little bit more than that. They've had it out for a while, but it's pretty cool. It's a little word bank. It's a you can get it either in an application, or you can actually purchase an Ovulus. Um, and I know it's got thousands and thousands of different words in a word bank. It's supposed to pick up sound in the air and turn those sounds and translate them. And then it spits out the words matching the readings that it picks up in the air. And according to this, it says here. Oh, here we go. Actually, I found an article. How does it work? The Ovulus 5 and the Ovulus 3 work in the same way. There is a built-in database of words. It uses its temperature and magnetic field detector to cross-check its readings to matching of numbers. And these numbers links to words, so the spirits are able to choose words which are then read out loud. It's similar to a spirit box. Pretty neat. I didn't know that. Spirit box. That's another one. I actually have a spirit box. I have the PSB7. Only thing is the PSB7 is more of just like a small shortwave transistor radio that scans through all the stations very fast. And then if you hear a sentence, of course, it's scanning very quickly. So if you hear like a full sentence while it's going through all these different stations, then obviously that's going to be something paranormal that's trying to speak. So the Ovulus works in the same manner, except you don't hear all the static. It just kind of gives you the words. So that's pretty cool. Ovulus is pretty neat. I actually have the Ovulus on my iPhone. So Bill Chappell is responsible for that. I know he's responsible for a ton of things. For those fans of Bill Chappell out there listening to my podcast, I know you're probably squirming, thinking about all the things I could be mentioning right now, all the different ghost equipment, ITC that he's came out with. I know he's done a bunch of stuff. The SLS camera. I know he's done a lot of other a lot of other pieces of equipment that are mainly he's big into like the sensors, the temperature, EMF, static, movement. All those different things are just things in the atmosphere that these pieces of equipment can pick up and translate for us, and it's pretty neat. All those, all these equipments, all these different pieces of equipment, they all serve the same main purpose, which is to bring to the light what's in the darkness that we can't see. So, props to Bill Chappell. Thank you so much for coming up with some of these amazing, fun pieces of equipment. Not just fun, but very useful pieces of equipment that we can use in the field. Very, very big props to him. A lot. That's pretty cool stuff. So Ghost Adventure is awesome. I mean, I still like watching them. I think they're very entertaining, educational as well. Only thing I just wish they did was I wish they stopped cutting their episodes so short. It always feels like as soon as you're about to get some incredible evidence, actually half the time it feels like a lot of the evidence that they don't have time to show them.
3 days later.
What's going on, people? My parasitic people. Thanks for hanging in there. Uh, as the famous SpongeBob soundbite just said, yes, I did have to step away for a few days. A few days later, um, I did have my daughter with me, my beautiful little girl. So I had to do a couple things with her that day. Um, it was a Sunday, and then pretty much that was over. And then Monday came, responsibilities come in. Also had to work on my bike. I have an amazing, awesome bike that I love so much. It's my Harley. My Harley is awesome. It's my therapy and my stress relief. But very sweet bike. I had to do some stuff to it Monday also. I had to align the. For those of you that have motorcycles, you know that when you have a misaligned rear tire, it's could be dangerous and it feels kind of funky. I just didn't like the handling. So, anyways, I had to sit there and realign my bike, so to speak. Just do a couple things. But anyways, I do want to finish on the subject with Ghost Adventures real quick, since that's what I was talking about. I want to be loyal to my show, and I want to come back and just finish the critique. I'm gonna make this short. I don't want to really drag it out too much, but I was watching them again. Ghost Adventures from time to time. I still watch them whenever I have a chance. But the only other thing I really want to say, is, well, I guess a few things. Billy Tolley, dude, stick to the equipment, man. Uh, stick to. I think he was doing sound and equipment. Um, I think that was pretty awesome. I think he did a great job. um, when we had the original, one of the original guys that were on the show, uh, Nick Groff. When he was on the show, I used to love watching it. I still enjoy it. As a matter of fact, they have added a lot of new things to it that I love. The equipment, more knowledge. Zach Baggins is just a world of knowledge also. But the only thing I really just personally my own opinion. I just don't like his overreaction. Billy Tolley. I think he's I give him props for being there, for obviously he's very knowledgeable in the paranormal with the equipment. But I don't know. Just I guess everybody's an individual, so who am I to really speak? But his overreaction sometimes kind of kills me. Not only that, it's the impulsiveness, like when they find some when they get some voice. What is it, the pod, the polterpod. The polterpod is like, basically it's like getting a PSP 7, adding a couple filters to it. Again, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, the PSP 7 is that little small shortwave radio that scans. It's basically, it scans through stations either up or down. You can adjust it. Really cool piece of tool. I've got it too, and probably one of my favorite ones besides the digital recorder. But anyways, the polterpod is that round ghost um, ghost ghost box that they use on the show. Um, Sometimes it'll say things, they'll play it back, and I hear something completely different um, than what they're jumping to. Um, as a matter of fact, I mean, I've heard a couple of the digital recordings that they play back, and I would say 90% of the time it sounds like what they're translating it to, and then 10% sometimes I'm looking at the show and I'm like, dude, that's not what the spirit or the entity said. It's I don't know. It's just me. So again, let me go back to my bullet points here because I did write a few bullet points. So yeah, just if there's anything I would change a little different, is just the overreaction. Sometimes I feel like they overreact a little too much. I almost feel like that disturbs the investigation a little bit. Of course this is it's a show, so it's on TV, obviously. So uh, you need to keep the people entertained. I get it, and sometimes the overreaction kind of adds a little bit to the to just the drama. Um, I guess like the theatrical, you got to add a little bit of a little spice to it, I guess. So, but these guys are awesome. I mean, they're amazing. Shoot, if uh, if I had a chance to jump in there and investigate with them, that would be like a lot of people. I'm pretty sure that would be a freaking dream come true. Um, but anyways, let me look at my bullet points that I've got here. I wrote down a couple things here. Um, yes, that's pretty much it. That's the only thing I really would change about the show is just a lot of. I wish they would analyze a little bit better the the electronic voice phenomenon, the EVPs that they would catch on their recorders. I wish it would kind of I don't know, just kind of be a little bit more just to leave things a little bit more open to interpretation, versus presuming right away what a ghost is saying. So I think that would probably be a little bit better of a tactic, is to be a little bit more. Well, it could be possible that it said this, but then again, we'll leave it to the audience, or we'll investigate this further, and shoot, they could even put on another show. They can even create a show where they're showing you all the lost evidence that they don't show you on the shows. They can even show you corrections. I mean, there's so many angles where they can just have like they can even have a couple episodes where it's just outtakes, um, outtakes, and a lot of evidence that we would love to see. I'm sure they capture a lot of stuff. I mean, I think they stay at these places for like a couple days for from what I've heard, and just that 1 hour of footage is just a whole bunch of things, just kind of. So when you see the show, I think usually they do overnight, and I think it's like 2 days almost is what it looks like. But I mean, the place is really active and it's haunted. I think a nice overnight, you're gonna catch a couple things. I mean, late at night, as long as you have no noise pollution, um, you're locked in. You got to get something if there is really something there actively. Um, anyways, another one of the shows that I wanted to mention. It's just one of my other favorite shows that I used to watch. I think it's very really genuine show. In my eyes, it's very very valid, very pretty good show. It's a Haunted Collector with Brian Kano, John Zaffis, a couple other people on there, but Brian Kano is pretty awesome. He's old school. For those of you that don't know, he's got another show called Scared, which I believe he did that show until 2010. Right around that, I think it's like mid 2010 from what I read. They stopped coming out with episodes, but Brian Kano is an amazing guy, and of course John Zaffis. He is the quote unquote godfather of the paranormal. Also, if I'm not mistaken, he's Ed Warren's nephew, the famous Ed and Lorraine Warren. One of the more known, well, I think one of the first like real known investigators that really blew up. But I will look it up on Wikipedia real quick for you guys. So obviously Ed and Lorraine Warren, these people were very, 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 very well known. Long history of investigations. I know Ed came out a couple times on some of the TV shows, um, and he knew what he was talking about. He very experienced. Him and Lorraine were extremely good at investigating. They did a lot of famous investigations. So I just looked it up right now. I just brought up a little article real quick. So you guys will know, just for knowledge. You never know. It's good to have this knowledge. But they're famous for Annabelle is one of the main things. The Annabelle doll, that scary doll that Universal or was it Paramount decided to turn into a some scary wooden crazy looking doll. Really, it was just Raggedy Ann doll, but from what I've heard, it's a very possessed doll. Um, the Let me see what else they did. Of course, they did Amityville. And Lorraine investigated Amityville, the famous Amityville. You got the Enfield Poltergeist, which was in England, I believe, and it was a let me see, that was in 1977. The Warrens investigated claims that a family in North London suburb of Enfield was haunted by poltergeist activity. While a number of independent observers dismissed the incident as a hoax carried out by attention-hungry children, quote unquote, the Warrens were convinced that it was a case of demonic possession. The story was the inspiration for The Conjuring 2, haha, although critics say the Warrens were involved to a far lesser degree than portrayed in the movie, and in fact had shown up to the scene uninvited and been refused admittance to the home. Okay. I have heard about that as well on some other podcast shows, famous podcast shows I've heard. Well, old school podcast shows I used to listen to, but I have heard about that. Still, you got to give them credit that they went out there. It is what it is. I think there was another parapsychologist that went out there before them for the Enfield poltergeist. As a matter of fact, it says it here, Guy Lyon Playfair. He investigated the Enfield case alongside Maurice Grosse. So he was one of the main investigators on scene for the Enfield poltergeist. I believe there's a movie about that as well. Anyways, just a ton of stuff. There's, lists of stuff here that they've done. You can always look it up. Ed Lorraine's pretty awesome. They got to give him some homage, some definitely lots and lots of credit. And I got to say, definitely, it's sad that they passed away. But they definitely left their mark. That's for sure. But anyways, guys, what else? What else do I got for you? What else? I know I'm bouncing all over the place. There's one last thing I wanted to mention. For those of you that do watch a lot of Ghost Adventures, there's also this piece of equipment that's on there. It's pretty interesting. It is called the Polterpod. Basically, from just observing what it is, and if you listen closely to it when it's on the show, it sounds like a PSP-7 spirit box, like inside some kind of a filter, where you don't hear all the stations going through, but it does the same thing pretty much as a PSP-7. It scans through a lot of white noise and stations, and then the spirits or entities have their opportunity to speak around or into this device, so you can listen whatever it is that they need to say. Pretty cool piece of instrument. Pretty cool. Actually, there was a few other things I wanted to touch on it, but I'm not going to do that on this show. I'll just do it on the next one. Just thought I would just finish mentioning that since it was on my to-do list here. But anyways, guys, you know what? I have got to start working in just a little bit. I hate rushing my shows. I like making my shows a little bit more uplifting for you guys. But anyways, I will be back. I will be back and do another show. I'm gonna try to at least get one show a week out. Thank you so much, guys. I really do. I truly appreciate you guys listening to my show. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you. I'm working on my website right now too for parasitech.com. I've got the website. It went down for a while, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to build it back up. Probably going to. I'm gonna have stuff on there. I'll probably have some of my older shirts when I was on my old team. The team that I created. Eventually, maybe I'll have some shirts. So all the evidence that I've collected, I'm gonna put it all there. And just heard a very, very, very strange noise. There's no animals around here. I don't know what that was. That was very creepy noise I just heard. Almost sounded like a voice. Yeah, so I guess maybe that's a wrap. I gotta go. That is scary. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I gotta drink some more coffee and start working. All right? Take it easy. Hasta luego, mi gente, la gente que habla en español. Take care.
Well, are there any spirits in here like to talk to us? Are there any spirits in here? How many spirits are present?
That's okay.